It's a beautiful day. It's October 4th. I took the show on the road this morning, which always throws me off when it takes me 52 minutes to get from the east side to the west side. And so I'm a little like behind my normal mental schedule to be able to get this to you. So for those that have been sitting on the Zoom for the last 4 or 5 minutes, I apologize for the delay. Um, but we're taking the show on the road, and here we go. So a couple themes for you today. Um, one, living in a world of chaos. United is the living a way of united is a way of life. More to come on that in a second. Two, there's been an interesting theme within the industry, not so much locally, but more nationally as it relates to this concept of pocket listings in private listing networks. I have a lot of opinions on it that I haven't shared. I've kind of bit my tongue locally because I don't think it's as much of um, an issue locally as it is nationally, but I have a friend from Chicago who shared some very pointed feedback. He happens to be the #1 agent, sells more real estate in the city of Chicago than anyone else. And over the weekend, he posted something I thought was very relevant on the topic. So I thought I'd share it with you so that I don't have to share my opinions, that someone else can share their opinions that I actually am aligned with. And then from there, we have a few other things and thoughts and starters, shall we? Love it. Let's rock and roll. So, one sec, because I just am, when you take your game on the road, a little bit off, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. And I think this morning, one of the things I want to hone in on is this concept of, this whole theme of united, aligned, but also this concept of like enrichment. And one of the things that we really think about in terms of our ethos and our aura and the way that I lead our leadership teams in order to serve you is how we are committed to not only delivering unparalleled agent experiences that empowers growth, fuels success, but most importantly, enriches the communities that we serve. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit this morning. But hopefully you've seen from us over the last week with a lot of the chaos in the world that one of the things that's most important to me is how do we leverage our platform in terms of scale and influence in order to enrich not only your lives, but the lives of those that you serve, and also that the families you do it for. So we'll touch on that here more in a second. So a few logistical items from an operational standpoint, just as a quick reminder, the Intergage survey for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel top workplaces is currently out. It will close effective next week, Tuesday. I could really use a final push. We need to get above 30% response rate. Right now we're at 27%. Historically, we get to 38%. We have 1 week left. You'll be getting an email from Intergage. Again, all responses are confidential. I actually don't even see the individual responses, but it's a great benchmark for us to benchmark versus our peers across a variety of industries, and would appreciate your support in both positive and negative feedback. I'm not asking you to deliver something that you don't want to do. I'm just using it as a way to seek feedback, and we need to get to at least a minimum of a 30% response rate in order for us to get that benchmarking. Make sense? So Jen has an email queued up that will come from Intergage that will come out during team meeting. If you wouldn't mind taking 5 to 7 minutes in order to fill that out. Cool. Love it. Another survey that I would actually really appreciate you to take some time to do, that could take anywhere from 5 minutes to 50 minutes, depending on how robust you want to put your feedback to it, is the MLS sent out a member satisfaction survey fall of 2025. Give your feedback. Give your feedback. I've shared a lot of opinions around my relationship or our collective relationship with the MLS. There has been a change in leadership at the MLS. My pointed opinion on that is too soon to tell on how that change might impact us, either positively or negatively, or if more of status quo remains the same. Well, the only way, if we want to effectively impact change on a member-run organization that is also member-owned, you have to give the feedback that you desire. I spent about 30 minutes yesterday curating and crafting my feedback, gave some very pointed feedback around board governance. It's a whole nother topic. Individual agent IDX feeds, along with where I believe there to be loopholes in the way in which that the MLS treats us, as well as their policing standards, fines and fee schedules, so on and so forth. But it's not I'm not trying to shape your opinion of it. I'm just asking you, give the feedback. It's the only way as a member-owned organization, which the Metro MLS is a member-owned organization, give the feedback to it so that we can effectively help make that change or drive change in terms of what members want, because we're in a period of change as it relates to the MLS. Cool? Sweet. All right, last few weeks we've given you some leadership updates. I just wanted to make sure that we touched on our org structure. And you can see effectively who is here within our teams as we've had some shifting a little bit. Not that anyone's gone anywhere. That's, I think, the beauty of it. But where people are currently sitting, how they're serving you, the roles and responsibilities they have. I would also tell you I'm currently hiring and interviewing because we're building to our team and how we serve you on an everyday basis. We're thinking about the way we're structured heading into 2026. More news to come on that in a very positive way. But as we think about our organization and how we serve you at a bigger and broader level, here's kind of as it stands today. One thing I do want to call out, and I think that this is a big piece of our organizational success, is agents seek stability and consistency in their relationship with their brokerage. And I got to give a shout out yesterday, just for a little bit of historical perspective. I've been with the organization just over 8.5 years. And one of the very first hires I made when I came into the organization was Jen Turner. I love you, Jen. So Jen yesterday celebrated 8 years, and she has been at my side and my hip for 8 years, and it's been incredible. And Jen and her team oversee paying about $70 million a year in commissions, which is no small task. And the accounting and finance that goes on behind the scenes is a tall order and a tall task. And I use it as an example to say I view my job is to provide opportunities for others, and so that we can continue as an organization, provide people professional upward mobility within their careers. And how do we provide them stability for them and their families in order to continue to seek continued trajectory? And I think Jen is a great example of how that shows up within our organization for having put up with me for the last 8 years. So Jen, congrats on 8 years. All right, with that, I want to jump right into education and events for a variety of reasons. But real quick, November training calendar is now out. A lot of things on here. 2 things in particular I would like to highlight. One is productivity coaching is now back since we have Bold has now since ended. Productivity coaching is back in all locations on Thursdays. The other thing to note is vision boards, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in a second. As we are having vision board sessions throughout all of our locations in southeastern Wisconsin, and then we have nearly 150 people as of, which is funny. Last week we had 3 people. After last week's team meeting of the presentation that Stephanie Minnick gave, we have 150 people now registered for Business Planning Clinic on November 12th at the Elm Grove Women's Club from 9 to noon. As a reminder, Business Planning Clinic is free for all associates. It's something that we're offering to, and SMIN has put together curated incredible content for all. We mentioned productivity coaching is now back. One of the things that we're doing is aligning content as it relates to how productivity coaching is being delivered for you on Thursdays. So across all locations, here is the upcoming productivity coaching content through the rest of the year that you can receive from our PC coaches on Thursday mornings. And as a reminder, you don't need to be in the PC program in order to be able to participate if you so choose. It's open to all. Next up today at noon in the Southwest office, one of the most highly regarded things we do every year is Eugene from Magnolia Tax Services is coming in all around the tax strategies you need to be paying attention to today to mitigate your risk to Uncle Sam. Okay. And if you didn't know this, there's still time. What do I mean by that? I'll give you a real life example in my own household. MKSRE is the LLC that Megan puts her real estate commissions into. My tax accountant said I needed to make sure that I was paying my 9-year-old and my 7-year-old for the envelopes that they stamp for Megan. I had not yet done so. They said, don't worry, there is still time. You can pay them $15,000 a year tax-free, and then they can pay for their own school, sports, and everything else that they get to do tax-free. And so I set up through B2E payroll, my 9-year-old, aka my sweatshop, my 9-year-old, and my 7. I don't know if that's an appropriate joke, but I grew up in a household where I stamped envelopes too. But you still have time to set yourself up and structure your payments through your organization appropriately in 2025. You don't want the calendar year to roll over and say, gosh, I wish I would have paid my kids in order to mitigate my taxes, because most of you, if you have kids, they are working for you on your behalf, whether you really recognize it or not. Make sense? Now, I say that with all of a caveat and an asterisk. I am not a certified tax professional. Don't take my word as the Bible. Cool? All right. Yes. No, Gil. All right, next up, Vision Boards is forthcoming, and I gave a little bit of a synopsis of a preview as to why vision boards are so important. And it's amazing the impact vision boards can have and how vision comes to fruition. And the most successful people in the world, whether you know it or not, utilize vision boards to help their goal setting and goal planning. One of the most renowned people that do it for the most successful people in the world is Tony Robbins. So I asked Bridget Tai to jump on, who, by the way, Bridge has been in the business for like maybe less than 5 years. I say maybe less than 5 minutes, but this year she'll sell north of 45 million in production. She's absolutely killing it. And the one thing that Bridge has done every single year is she has made a vision board every single year to plan and create a purpose to her life as she thinks forward into the future. So Bridge, tell us a little bit about your journey with vision boards, why it's so important for you, and what does it help you achieve?
Hi, everyone. Well,
Bridge.
can you hear me? I'm over here. Yes, Charlie? No. I see Nikki.
We can hear you,
Maybe
Bridget.
we'll come back to
Oh,
Bridge.
maybe just Charlie can't hear me.
I think it's a
It
Charlie
might be
problem.
me. Maybe it's
Okay.
not you, it's me.
It's a you problem.
No? Willis?
We can hear you, Bridget.
Okay, I'll just keep talking then.
Oh, hold on.
But come visit me whenever.
Bridge, sorry.
I can
Say something.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
me. It's me.
Hi. Charlie's the problem. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm a very visual person with kind of like a dreamer mentality. So I love vision boards. And like the first year, the second year, I remember putting stuff on there and being like, this is absolutely crazy. Like, this will never happen. But I'm going to put this on there and that on there. And once you kind of just take the time to really focus on where you want to go and what goals you want to achieve, and you're spending every day looking at that vision board, like I keep mine in my bedroom closet, it just helps you remember your why and why you're, up at night worried about like an inspection report. It's because these are the goals that I'm trying to achieve like day after day for me and for my family. So I just like visually kind of seeing like, what do I want for myself and for my life?
And Bridge, how long have you been doing it now?
I've done it every year since I started. So yeah, I think this will then, be my 5th year making one.
And of the last 5 years of doing it and putting it in your closet and reviewing it every day before you leave the house, how much of it would you say has come to fruition in terms of what you put on paper to actually achieving for you and Danny?
I think that that's been the most shocking part. Is it can be the smallest things. Like there's this mirror from Ballard Designs that I was like, I really want that mirror. It was kind of expensive. And now I have the mirror. But then it can be like, I remember I really, really wanted to go on a vacation with my family. Like that's all I wanted to do. We really had never just gone, just like our little family without extended family. And my husband and I were sitting in like a cabana, and I was thinking, gosh, this is amazing. But like, I feel like I've been here before, but I'm like, we haven't been here before. And I was like, I mean, this sounds crazy, but like I had been there because I had been thinking about how badly I wanted to achieve this vacation with my family and enjoy it with them. So I will say, like, when you start focusing on the things you want to achieve professionally, it just helps you align, personally with your goals. And I think this career can really swallow you up, and things move really quickly, and the highs are high and the lows are low. And if you don't stop and pause and say, and celebrate like the small wins and the big wins and kind of check yourself and be like, you're doing really well. Like, remember, you made this vision board with this, like this trip or this, your health, or that you wanted to donate to more charities, or like whatever it is. And you can kind of look at that and kind of check yourself and see, where I'm at, and have I been kind of following my why, and celebrate when you're achieving those goals.
Oh, I think it's, to that point, it's an exceptional tool to get perspective on life. And when you have a very clear focus and vision as to why it is that you spend so much time, energy, and resources in this business building something for others, it allows you to take moments every single day, if it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 2 minutes, to center yourself around what it is that you're trying to do and why you're trying to achieve it. And, I joked last week, much to my mother's chagrin, like, she's been forcing us and my brothers to do it for years. And it's amazing when we look back, because I keep all of mine. If you didn't know anything about me, I'm a little bit of a hoarder, is not the right way to say it, but I have emotional connections to materials, because that's the best way to put it. As you know me, I'm an emotional guy, but everything has meaning to me. And so I keep my vision boards. And what I actually do is I go through and I circle the things I've achieved. And then I, in green, and I circle the things I haven't achieved yet in red. And I take stock in that every so often. And Bridge, I think you're probably one of the most exceptional examples of how your vision board comes to fruition, even through the conversations I've had with you, from buying the house next door to, call it for what it is. What I love is when you showed up at my house with donuts and your new Lincoln Navigator, and it was something that was on your vision board with a growing family, and the involvement that you've had in Impact 100, and just so many of these different ways of the different aspects of how the vision board has come to fruition for you is a great example. And we wanted to use Bridge as that example to showcase to you why you should be thinking about your vision for 2026 and putting it onto paper, because hope is not a strategy, and you need that sense of where it is that you are and where it is that you're going. So Bridge, I appreciate you pulling your vision board outs for us this morning, sharing a little bit about why it's important for you, and giving back to our crew.
Sorry, it was frozen.
But you're the best. Thanks, Bridge.
Yeah, thank you.
So vision boards up forthcoming. It is on November 11th in Prestige, November 12th in Innovation, November 13th in Lake Country, November 17th in North Shore, and November 19th in Southwest, all before Thanksgiving. Cool? And if you need help and you don't know what to do and you need help with your vision, call me. I'll help you. I'll ask the right questions to uncover and peel back your onion to help you think about what it is that you're trying to do. And it's amazing the fuel it will give you moving forward. Cool? All right, so I kind of hinted at something I've been thinking about as of late, and it is all around lessons in the market of the moment related to pocket listings. In Milwaukee, there's an underbelly of pocket listings, which isn't bad thing or good thing. They serve their purpose. 1,000% they serve a purpose. But yet there's a lot of conversation within the industry, if you pay any attention to the trade rags, of what's happening nationally in terms of utilizing it as a strategy. I think it's an interesting strategy. And in the sake of me saying something I probably shouldn't on a public forum with 200 people, a friend of mine shared some opinions about it over the weekend. His name is Matt Laracy. Matt's the #1 agent in the city of Chicago. Last year did north of, I believe, 800 deals across the city of Chicago. The guy's a machine, total machine. Admittedly, I'm not sure it's someone you want to follow. He doesn't take vacations. He works and works and works, but he shares his opinions around the industry. And I thought I would share with you something he posted this weekend that I thought was actually relevant as to where we are right now.
My ratio of winning listings has been 100% since this whole thing has happened. I haven't lost one yet. All my competitors out there are listening. Here's how I win. Here's how I beat you. The argument comes up at every listing appointment where a seller says, hey, we've interviewed people and they said that they have the strategy that they want to pre-market first. And then if they don't sell in the pockets, they'll open up to the rest of the market. What do I think about that? Like, why would I not want to do that? And when I tell people, it's like, listen, you're a buyer, okay? And you want to buy this place. You see it, you walk through it. It's $500,000. You love it. You tell your agent, I'm going to buy it. I'll take it at $500,000. I'll take it. Your heart's set on it. You're excited. Got the offer drawn up. And then the agent tells you, hey, we're going to go on the open market. You're going to tell me right now that that buyer is now all of a sudden going to be like, you know what? I don't want it anymore. I'm not going to buy it because they're going on the open market with it. I don't want it. Will 1 out of 100 people say that? Sure. Will 99 of 100 people say that? Nope. And as a guy that represented the most buyers personally of what's happened in the city, I'll tell you right now, I've never heard a buyer say that, not once. But do you think that if it goes on the open market, that person that wants it at 500 will still want it for 500, which they will. Now I have one bid, and now I have 3.5 billion people who have internet access. They're going to want it too. So you're going to tell me that that's not going to get me more money? Like in what world does that make sense? I'll debate anybody because my argument is based off of common sense, and the other argument is based off of Kool-Aid drinking.
Point being is, he and I are aligned in the way of thinking that the open market has a way of working itself out to get what the property is ultimately valued. I think that something I will be paying attention to on your behalf heading into 2026 is the way that our MLS and association will be treating the effectiveness of a strategy relative to private listing networks. Okay. And I share this with you because I found alignment as to what Matt shared over the weekend in terms of the open market is the best market for all parties involved. And I'm of the belief that of other companies who don't share of a similar thing and believe that a strategy not on the open market is in the best interest of all sellers is categorically inaccurate and serves selfish interests and selfish intent. There's a lot more to unpack in that I won't now, but I just am planting a seed for you as to some of the things that I am thinking about as it relates to our relationship with the MLS, the association, so on and so forth, and how we're thinking about it as the advent of some of these strategies that are happening on the coast that naturally come into Milwaukee, how I'm helping you guys think about it and fight for what I believe is to be right within the marketplace. Cool? Comments, questions? You want to debate me on it? Hit me up. Sound good? All right. With that,
My ratio of winning.
I want to transition a bit to a concept that I firmly believe in, and I'll share with you something on the side. Someday in time, I will share this and publish it, but I journal in my phone. Not a lot. It's just like bullet points. And I have in my journal, I've started this section called Fundamental Truths Within Life. My number one fundamental truth in life, which many of you have heard and you'll probably laugh about, is the world is run by those who show up. It's my number one fundamental truth in life. I have other fundamental truths like the gift of the giver is the joy you get in return, so on and so forth. But one of my fundamental truths in life, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I share this with you because we're at an interesting inflection point, I think, within our communities. And I say it's an interesting inflection point is, and by the way, this is an apolitical commentary, just as a preface to this. I think we're in a world of chaos right now, and chaos creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates instability. Hence my sweatshirt today, the chaos coordinator. Uncertainty creates instability. And as an industry, we thrive off of stability that creates predictability. As an industry, we thrive off of stability that creates predictability. Okay. And there's been a lot of changes over the last year as it relates to federal grants. There have been a lot of changes in the past year as it relates to how a lot of very important organizations within our communities are funded. And I would make an argument that as an industry, we thrive on stability of our community in order to buy, sell, and transact real estate. And in a world in which there's a lot of instability, I would make an argument that there has never been more important of a time as it relates to collectively as a professional community driving a united force around a United Way campaign. And we have been very fortunate over the last 3 years, 4 years. And before that, I spent 10 years at Miller Coors on the United Way campaign, running a United Way campaign, workforce campaign. And as you've seen from me over the year or years, we like to make an impact in our communities in a variety of ways. And the largest way that we can make an impact without picking and choosing incredible organizations across all over southeastern Wisconsin is driving a collective energy by leveraging our influence towards the United Way. And for those of you who don't know what the United Way is, my goal today is to give you a little bit of an education as to who they are and what they serve. But the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha counties changes lives and improves our communities by mobilizing people and resources to drive strategic impact on health, education, and financial stability. Okay. Interestingly enough, take the last 6 to 9 months out of the equation. You just take the last 6 to 10 days and consider what has been going on in terms of things that have shut down and the lack of resources it provides our community. And that's when chaos ensues. And as an industry, we need a community that's strong. And I'm not going to say that we are perfect by any means. We have a lot of areas of opportunity within southeastern Wisconsin, but we have to create an aligned vision and force in order to create stability for our communities, because when we have stability, we create predictability. And when we create predictability, we can help people buy and sell real estate. And so a little bit more about United Way, and we're fortunate to kick off year 3 of a United Way campaign, is the United Way basically aligns roughly 1,500 corporate partner, 50,000 donors, and 220 local programs that all fight together for lasting change across Milwaukee, Ozaukee, Washington, and Waukesha counties. And it convenes resources across time, talent, and energy, as well as treasure, in order to help make a very significant impact in southeastern Wisconsin. And so we are kicking off this year's United Way campaign over the next 2 weeks. Year 1, I think my goal was $10,000 and we raised 20. Last year, my goal was 20,000 and we raised 32. This year, my goal is 30 and we'll see where we can get to. I think it's vitally important. And I think that the time in order to do that is never been more important or apparent. And a little bit more about why I'm so passionate about the United Way and give you a little bit of an understanding as to their impact. They serve roughly 550,000 people a year. 60% of those that they serve are under the age of 34, and 75% of those that they serve have income levels below 35,000. They have roughly 100 partner organizations in southeastern Wisconsin that touch on a variety of topics in terms of health and wellness, to housing, to a variety of ways. The reason why we choose to participate in the United Way workforce campaign is there is not a single person in our organization that is not impacted or would not be in alignment to one of the United Way partner organizations. It touches so many people's lives. And so with that, I wanted to just share with you a little bit more around this year's campaign.
When we come together, united, we don't just respond to the challenges of today. We create solutions that will shape our community for generations to come.
When we come together, we are mobilizing people to action so that all can thrive. United is the way we end family homelessness. United is the way we reduce barriers to employment and start someone on a stable career path. United is the way we bridge the digital divide. And united is the way we provide support and services so that high school students are equipped to face life's challenges.
For over 115 years, our United Way has had one simple purpose: help people live better lives.
So we're kicking off this year's United Way campaign. My personal goal is $30,000. I will tell you, between the organization, myself and Megan and my parents, we're going to start it off that we'll make the first 10,000 to get us a third of the way there. There's one other thing that I think that is important for you guys to understand is giving is not something that's inherently in us. I'm a believer that giving is something that you are taught. We are taught to be gatherers of our treasure And sometimes, not sometimes, I believe that the way that you understand how to give is to be taught how to give. And whether that's $1, $5, or $10, you have to be taught how to give. So if I have a $30,000 campaign goal this year for KW Milwaukee, I'm gonna say, well, great. I'm gonna make sure that we start with a strong foundation and start with the first third of getting us to the way there. On top of it, there's some nice incentives through the broader campaign that the Green Bay Packers, the Admirals, the Bucks have participated in. When you donate at a $25 level, there's lots of cool raffles to participate in on a broader level. When you give it $50, Marcus Hotels and Resorts have done a great Grand Geneva. Summerfest is doing a Summerfest package. When you give at the $100 chance, there is a 2-year lease on a vehicle through Russ Darrow, or the Brewers are giving away a spring training package when you give $75. Again, this is more so raffle items. And one of the ways that I've learned how to teach people how to give is also the power of incentive and the power of the carrot. And so I said, well, all right, similarly to last year, what are some cool carrots that we can do? I don't know. Don't worry about it. So when you have $100 internally, just in our own organization, we have a bunch of grocery gift cards. We have Quick Trip gas station gift cards. We have KW swag items. Our Bold Coach Amber is going to do a one-on-one coaching session. And last year, I said, hey, look, I'll donate $100 to a charity of your choice. And Lauren Siegel won that last year. So just simple ways to help create incentives. At a $500 level, we're giving away a one night at the Pfister Hotel for the holiday party. That was a very popular item last year. And I think some of you needed the hotel stay. We're giving away a round of golf with me. We'll give away a family reunion or mega camp ticket of your choice. Airfare, we will buy your airfare to family reunion or mega camp. And as Stillman found out, if you mess around, you will find out. Stillman gave last year at the $500 level, and I paid for his way to Bold this year. If you give it $1,000 level, we're giving away 2 courtside seats to a Marquette basketball game. This was also popular. We're giving away 2 courtside seats to a Bucks game. And I came up with this yesterday with Willis. I will donate a Mason Street Grill gift card and a package to the Pfister Well Spa for a little date night if you give $1,000. And my parents don't know this yet, but if anybody is excited enough in joining me in donating $5,000, I donated my parents' lake house for a day, and we will treat you with you, your family, your kids. Maybe it's your team. It's a team outing, whatever it might be. I'll treat you at my parents' house because they don't know this yet. If you do it at the $5,000 level, and we'll take you boating, skiing, whatever you want to do. We'll pay for food and beverage and the likes. And again, it's my way of trying to say thank you while also trying to drive a little of excitement and energy around in a very important initiative to me in terms of driving energy to the United Way campaign. Cool. So lastly, is what we did last year. We're also going to have a office competition across all locations, and it's not going to be about most dollars raised. It's going to be about highest percentage of agents who give. So if you give $5, that counts. If you give $10, it counts. It's about what I'm trying to do is drive agent engagement, and we already have this booked so that it's right away. Tuesday, December 2nd, we'll have a food truck show up to the office that has the highest percentage of agent engagement within our United Way campaign as a way to say thank you to that location across our communities. Cool? So there it is. There's a quick recap in terms of what we're doing locally during a time of uncertainty and instability. I'd make an argument that there's never been more important of a time to drive a United Way campaign through our workforce campaign. The campaign will run through November 18th. By the way, hint, hint, you're going to hear about it next week. The United Way will be here to tell us a little bit more about the impact they have. And we're focusing specifically on one of their strategic initiatives in 2025 around safe and stable housing. And safe and stable housing, and how they plan to drive their workforce campaign and utilizing the dollars that are collected towards safe and stable housing. Cool? And with that, we have our campaign ambassadors. So in the North Shore, I got to give a shout out to Allie, Bella, and Ginger. In Southwest, we have Shania. In Innovation, Maureen and Willis. Lake Country, Courtney, Steph, and Amber. In Prestige, we have Jen and Allie helping us run the campaign over the course of the next 2 weeks. I'll tell you, the United Way campaign kicked off in September. I strategically held off in doing it to the first 2 weeks of November because we're in a season of Thanksgiving and in an environment where we are very, very fortunate to have a lot of very successful people to whom much is given, much is expected. And so I, despite what some of the team had thought around the timing of this, said we come hell or high water, we are doing it in November because I think November is a time of giving thanks, taking stock in what we have been grateful for. And that's why we're doing it now between now and November 18th. Cool? Sweet. Appreciate your part. For those that choose to participate, again, it's a choose. Thank you in advance for your participation. So you'll hear more about it from our campaign committee throughout the next 2 weeks. And you'll see us wearing our Live United t-shirts as we are today. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and appreciate your guys' consideration as we head into United Way Workforce Campaign for 2025. Cool? All right, just to wrap up a few things, exploring the KW app is a reminder. A handful of the things that we've been speaking of and to is helping you understand how to utilize the app. One of the things that we asked it yesterday, just to help provide some clarity, is the difference between seller concessions and compensation. And we've noticed that people like to trust but verify. And so we've just been pinging in different questions and showcasing to you the ability and opportunities within the app. It's a great resource. Again, over 1,000 questions have already been answered and answered appropriately and correctly. So if you haven't thought about using it yet, you can trust it. I can verify it. Sound good? All right. Download it today. All right, with that, we have someone new to introduce to you on our compliance team. And I've been thinking about the best nickname for her because we have the sheriff, we have the chief, and we have the lieutenant. And I haven't yet honed in on Ashley's name yet, but we will get there. Ashley, what do these guys need to be paying attention around what I call the CYA Addendum A?
All right.
Ashley
Hey,
Myhre.
everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So we just wanted to remind everybody that the GMAR Addendum A is a great tool to use even if you are not selecting any of the boxes. There are a lot of different protections in the GMAR Addendum A, and I just highlighted some of them that are not necessarily checked items, but that are in the Addendum A as a protection, and it provides clarity around some things that do tend to pop up throughout the transaction. This inspections, tests, and appraisals portion just kind of covers you. If you furnished a list of home inspectors, it does put it on the buyer to determine the qualifications of those inspectors. So even though you've given them to them, it is up to the buyer to verify that they feel they're qualified enough to do the job. It also kind of covers the area in which we run across kind of a lot these days is when they provide you with a report that's already been done, whether it be an inspection report, well and water report. It says that the buyer needs to review those reports and make sure that they are comfortable with the standard of practice and the type of report that was handed to them. So again, it kind of puts some of the onus on the buyer to make sure that that's appropriate for their purposes. And then lastly, it just kind of covers us as a firm and you as an agent that you do recommend that they still have the property tested and inspected for all of the conditions that they find material in the transaction. This one has actually come up quite a bit lately, an abandoned well. So the abandoned well happens more, oftentimes sellers might not even know that they're there to start. They're found maybe in an inspection or something along those lines. This just provides clarity around who is to handle that. In this case, it is the seller, and they need to have it done prior to closing at their expense. So it's just a very clarifying detail that you might need, even if you're not aware of an abandoned well when you start the offer to purchase process. Same thing for a shared well agreement. There are some communities that have shared wells. It just reminds you that The seller is responsible for providing that agreement, and if the agreement hasn't already been recorded, it is the seller cost to do that and make sure that it's recorded by closing. This is a very similar thing where it's putting the onus on the buyer. This is kind of one of my favorite things in here because it basically talks about them, you know, hey, if you're close to an airport, a highway, whatever, there's going to be noise and you're aware of that. If you are aware that there's a public project happening, it's up to you to look into that to see if it's going to affect how you live in your house and if that's substantial to you. So it's just putting a lot of that, you know, we can offer ideas as to what might be going on in the area, but it's really going to be up to them to dig into that further and decide whether that's going to affect their livability in the house. Same thing for zoning, building restrictions, and if it's a non-conforming property. This is all covered here. And again, this is all just automatically if you attach the Addendum A to the offer to purchase. This one we also come across quite a bit is the responsibility to ensure that coverage is available. Buyer and seller are acknowledging upfront with the Addendum A, again, not a checked box, just automatically when it's included, that if there is an electrical service that needs upgrading, which we do run across with older homes like knob and tube or aluminum wiring, that it might be required by a lender or homeowner's insurance to upgrade it to no less than 100 amp. And they're all agreeing that to that upfront by using this Addendum A. And lastly, this is my very favorite part of the Addendum A. If you've ever spoken to me about wanting to add some sort of contingency in the offer, I will often direct you to this part of the Addendum A. It has what the new contingency will be. It has a deadline and it has a consequence for not meeting that deadline. So it's a really easy way to add a contingency into your offer to purchase and have it read so that it makes sense. There's a consequence and there's a deadline. And if that deadline's not met, the buyer at buyer's option may terminate the offer by giving written notice. So it makes it very clear and it makes it very easy to add additional contingencies. And then here are all of the contract trainings we have coming up. They're all on Mondays at noon, and we would love to see you there.
Awesome. Ashley, welcome. Congrats on delivering your first team meeting across a ton of people, and I'll figure out your nickname between now and the next time you present. Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Ash. All right, here we go. Lindsey, you're wrapping it up for us. Tech and marketing updates, new 12 direct graphics to power your 36 touch. What do these guys need to know?
All right, good morning, everybody. So just a couple of quick updates. We have finalized our final 12 direct campaigns for the remainder of the year. So I know a lot of us are prepping for Pi Day and some more personal touches throughout the holidays. But if you want to automate some of these and kind of sprinkle a few in just to get to that magic 36 number, we have the resources for you. So we have, like every year, we've got local Christmas tree farms, holiday lights displays, and then new this year we did a couple of cookie recipes for the holidays. So just some fun local content that you can share out with your database. We're working on Winterize Your Home campaign, as well as some Madison area Christmas tree farms and holiday lights. So those are coming very soon. So again, automate some of these touches, either as an email campaign in Command, a direct mail campaign if you want to send these out as postcards, or just schedule these on your social media accounts. We've got the resources, they're done, ready to go. So utilize them if you so choose. All right, and then switching gears a little bit here. So one update in Command that I wanted to cover because I think it is small but mighty. It's something that we've been asking for a number of years. So really excited that you can now really define and customize your service areas. So this is a section within your website's applet within Command, very similar to what we refer to as the marketing profile, where you update your headshot, your logo, things like that. There's now a section for service areas. So these are essentially the areas that agents will be searchable by on KW.com. And so you can specify by city, zip code, neighborhood even, and you have the ability to select up to 10 favorite service areas that is going to display on your agent profile and About Me pages on your agent sites. You can also choose to draw up to 3 separate areas as well if you want to get even more specific. And the best part about this, because again, this is what we've been asking for a while, the first highlighted favorite area that you have selected will be your primary service area. So that is then prominently displayed on your profile. So on your About Me page, so you can see the screenshot that I have on there. I selected my primary service area as Port Washington. You can see that that is then displayed on my About page on my agent site. So that is no longer going to display the market center that you're associated with. So it's no longer going to say Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, if you're in Lake Country. So it's something that you can then edit. You can choose exactly what service area is going to display on that profile. So again, small but mighty update. So I wanted to share that in command.
Linz, one other thing
yes.
that I just want to point out, it's a small but mighty update, but it's important. Okay. KW has 150,000 agents globally. At least 10 times a week, I get asked for a referral partner in a different part of the country. And I always say, I want to make sure that I find you the right referral partner who is servicing the specific area that you are seeking a partner in. And this is a very simplistic way to highlight your profile to receive referrals based on the geographies in which that you choose to participate in. And the reason I bring that up is when I help one of our agents find a referral partner for, let's just say, somewhere in St. Louis. Well, St. Louis is a very broad community. I want to know the community in which the referral really needs to focus in on. And so I do a little bit of research to find out exactly where, or Minneapolis, Twin Cities is huge. But if someone needs to sell a house in St. Louis Park, I'm not going to send them from someone who's in St. Paul. It's a very vastly different community. And so the reason why I think this is also important is if you seek to receive referrals from across the country, identifying your geographies in which that you participate in will help those that are seeking to give referrals out to find the right associate, because we are wanting to make sure that we're finding the right person. And so it's a great way for you to make sure that you're receiving referrals in the appropriate geographies. Something to pay attention to.
Definitely. Yep. And just a reminder, last week I shared the 30-day AI challenge. So check that out. A lot of really great tips and ideas in terms of how to implement AI into your business, kind of going back to that AI playbook as well. So if you want to download that, we've got those QR codes on here. And then one last reminder regarding our Community Pulse for 2026. We're currently working on that and getting that updated for you guys, and would love to kind of hear your ideas in terms of what do you want to see in that. So share those with us, scan that QR code, fill out that form, and then you will probably see some of your suggestions in the next year's Community Pulse magazine. Thank you.
Thanks, Linz. All right, wrapping it up. Last week, I shared with you some thoughts as it relates to the energy dial and the things you need to be thinking about of getting out of working in your business and working on your business heading into 2026. We're in that period of time and phase of life and the seasons in which as things change. Okay. And I shared with you the top 4 reasons why agents don't run profitable businesses. They're managing their business for production, not profit. They're not creating and following a budget. They're not reviewing their P&L and balance sheet every month. And they're spending all of their profit, not thinking strategically about how they reinvest in their business to increase their profit further by creating compounding opportunities. And we discussed a little bit around the 4 economic models in order to drive a scalable business, however it is that you want to scale your business to, and how we focus on those models in order to create an impact for you to get you to where you want to go. And so as a reminder, Business Planning Clinic is coming up on November 12th. We're going to help you, teach you how to run a profitable business and run your business like a business, utilizing tried and true methods in order to create scale. Sound good? Love it. What to bring to enhance your time? Note, for the 150 or so who've already registered, we will send you a no before you go. But here's a quick things that Stephanie will need in advance. And we will get some of these things to you as well. Cool? Lastly, the holiday party is forthcoming Thursday, December 4th. I just got the update yesterday. We're over 600 people who have registered, and we'll make sure it's a hoot and toot and good time. And this year's entertainment is dueling pianos. Guys, thank you for participating in advance into the United Way campaign. I know I spent a lot of time talking about it today. I think it's vitally important for our communities. I very much believe that our platform is built to enrich the communities that we serve. And I recognize that it's not totally always real estate related, but in a world right now that has a lot of instability and insecurity, we have to be able to provide resources to create stability, to create predictability, which also has an impact on us both personally and professionally. And I view it as our jobs to be great stewards and shepherds of our communities. So thank you for your willingness to participate and engage me in the conversation around the United Way. Cool? And I hope someone donates $5,000 so I can throw an epic party at my parents' house. I'm kidding, kind of. But guys, thanks for participating in advance. Thanks for being a part of our community. We're here to serve you. And it's a great day to be in Milwaukee. Guys, have a great day.
Charlie.
Yeah.